Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be using a bunch of my everyday favorite products from 2019. I know I'm a little late to the party as far as these videos are concerned, but I wasn't uploading there for a few months and I'm finally starting to play a little bit of catch up. Some of these may not be products that came out in 2019, they may be things that came out years before. It's just things that I showed a lot of love to last year, and given the size of my collection, I really try hard not to get stuck on a handful of products and then just use those all the time. I try to at least rotate things a little bit, that way I'm, experimenting with different combinations and different looks, trying different formulations. So there's several categories where I couldn't pick like one main thing because I really did switch things up quite a bit throughout the year. But I do have some staple products as well, so that's what we're doing in this video today. While I have you here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Also, hit the notification bell, that way YouTube lets you know of all my future uploads. And give this video a big like if you like it. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first product I'm going to jump into here is a primer. There's like two main primers that I used mostly throughout this year, or at least the second half of the year, because the first half of the year, I wasn't really sure what the hell was going on. I was just using this, that, and every freaking thing. But the two that really stand out to me for 2019 is the Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. This one is fantastic for oily skin. It helps to keep my skin matte all day. And the second one is also from Smashbox. This is their Photo Finish Super Light Smooth and Blur Primer. This is another one that's really good for oily skin. It helps to smooth out texture. If you have pores, it helps to fill those in. And I really do enjoy both of these primers. So for this video, I'm going to use the Super Light Primer. I bought like a trial size version of it when I was on a business trip, like back in the summertime. And I still have about half of this left. Just because I do rotate through things so often, it's hard for me to finish product. Okay, I'm going to give that a little bit of time to settle into my skin. Now, when it comes down to foundations, I very rarely use just one foundation during my morning routine when I'm getting ready. I normally mix at least 2 or 3, and it's just because I have so many, and I really do want to get through them. I don't want to be wasting foundations because they're too expensive to waste. Not to mention, when it comes to foundation, it's very hard for me to find something that I fall in love with just based on that one formula. So I like to mix a few to get the kind of finish that I want, the coverage that I'm really looking for, and, sometimes it can be a little bit excessive. I'll mix 4 and 5 and 6 foundations. But for the sake of this video, I do want to show you several that I do like to mix together, and then I'm going to make a concoction of those, and that's what I'm going to put on my face. So starting off, this is just a holy grail foundation for me in general. I do like to wear this by itself, but I really, really enjoy using this as a mixer. So this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This has been a favorite of mine for several years now, and it's just because it is so good. The longevity of this foundation is unlike anything else that I currently own. So I really do like mixing this in with other luminous foundations because this is very matte. It helps to kind of balance the two out, and this one has terrific coverage on it. Another foundation that I like just for that purpose is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This one I cannot wear by itself. It's just way too heavy looking. It makes me look a lot older than I am. It settles into all my lines. But I do like this to help extend the longevity of more luminous foundations or more natural looking foundations. So a foundation that did release in 2019 that I actually do like, I just grabbed the wrong shade because I bought it online, is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Foundation. This one is way off, so I can't wear this by itself because it's super dark on my skin. But I do like mixing this foundation to come up with a custom shade. I'll mix it in with one of the lighter foundations that I have. But this really is a long wear foundation, and it does look beautiful on the skin. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This really caught me by surprise. This one I can wear all by itself, and it looks beautiful. It just doesn't last me all day. But in order to make it last longer, I mix it in with the Estee Lauder foundation and a couple of others. So I really do enjoy this one. It's a great foundation. I am going to mix all these together in a minute, and we'll see what I end up with. But these are just some staple foundations. I've got 2 more. The NARS Radiant Longwear. Never thought that I would love this as much as I do. My cat likes to go in his litter box, and instead of scratching the litter, he scratches the wall beside his box, or he scratches the box itself. I don't know what he's trying to cover up by doing that, or what the compulsion is, but he'll do that and he'll jump out of the litter box. He'll look at it and jump back in and do it again. It drives me absolutely bonkers. But anyway, the NARS Radiant Longwear, I like to mix this in with more mattifying foundations because this is a little bit glowy and it helps to kind of balance the two out, and this one really does have a lot of coverage, so I love this one. And then last but not least, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This one I cannot wear it by itself. It's way too glowy for my skin. I'll be an oily mess after a couple hours if this is all that I'm wearing, but I do like to mix it in with the Estee Lauder. I like to mix it in with my Fenty Beauty, or, any other longwear foundation that'll just give it a little bit more glow by putting this in there. So, I'm going to make a cocktail out of the ones that I just showed you. That's what we're going to be applying today. Am I extra? Not me. Well, we're going to go ahead and start applying that. This looks like it might be a little bit too dark for my skin, but we're just going to deal with it anyway. Okay. I really don't know what my obsession is with foundations, but, I do have more mature skin, and in the regard that I have a lot of sunspots and discoloration, and I'm starting to get the, wrinkling and whatnot, so I've been on the hunt for the perfect foundation and the perfect formula, and in doing that, I've racked up quite a few. So, I'm trying to work my way through them. I'm going to start blending this in. This one's not too far off from my skin tone. It works. I tried to be smart and put a little bit of black shadow, around my hairline, because, I'm getting older. I'm thinning out right here. And I smeared it all across my face twice now, trying to do the foundation on my forehead. So, don't do that before you do your foundation. Do it afterwards. Just learning as I go here. Alrighty then. So the next step. I have two concealers I want to talk about. The first one is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This stuff is just really good stuff. It has a lot of coverage to it, and it really helps to brighten my under eye area. You can use this to help highlight other areas of your face, and it works very well. But I also have to go in with a little bit of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. I go in with this almost regardless of what other concealers I'm using. The only thing I use this for is literally right up underneath my eye. I don't use it anywhere else on my face because it's too much of a tacky consistency. But this is perfect if you have dry under eyes or if you have aging under eyes. Check out the IT Cosmetics. It is a lifesaver. So first I'm going to go in with the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. We're going to go ahead and just do one of those numbers there. When it comes to my eye primer, I really don't use an eye primer anymore. Every once in a while, I'll dip into something that I already have, but I feel like using a good concealer to help block out the purple on my lids is better than any eye primer that I could use. So, more often than not, I'm just dragging whatever concealer I'm using onto my lids. And that's what I'm going to do in this video too. Now I'm going to take some of that IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, and we're going to moisten up the under eye area. And we just going to blend and blend and blend. Till we can't blend no more. Oh, my shade is Light Ultra Fair. Is that what it's called? Yes. You can tell a distinct difference, or at least I can, from this side to this side. This is more brightened. In person, it just looks a lot better in general because it's not as dry looking underneath. Going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now we're going to set the face. So the product that I've been head over heels for ever since I tried it this past year was the Fenty Beauty Setting Powder. I have mine in the shade Butter. This stuff just does a fantastic job locking my makeup into place and making my entire base just look so smoothed out, so uniform. It makes everything that I put over top of it glide on so easily. I love this setting powder. My favorite brush for setting powder is my e.l.f. 103 brush. This is such a fantastic brush. Oh, too much. Ugh. That stuff is so finely milled. You gotta be really careful. You don't want to inhale when you're putting this stuff on. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell that that really just smoothed out my skin. Now we're moving along to the bronzer. Bronzer has quickly become one of my favorite parts of my makeup routine. And this year I've been loving on quite a few actually. So for the sake of this video though, I'm going to use the Kylie Tequila Tan Bronzer. I like this one because it just, I don't know, it pulls a little bit more pink on me than it does like orange or brown. And then what I like to do after that is I like to top it off with this Hourglass bronzer down here. And this one is in the shade Bronzer Filtered Bronze Light. I like to use my Sigma Large Angled Contour Brush. This is their F40. I think it's crazy how these powders can pull certain ways on certain skin tones. Like this bronzer might look, I don't know, totally orange on somebody, or it might turn, you know, a little bit more pink toned. It's really crazy how they do that based on your skin tone. Okay, now we're going to go back over top of that with this Hourglass bronzer. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a sheen. And I like this also because it does give a little bit more of like a pinky glow to it. Okay, so moving along to blush, I also have a ridiculous amount of blush in my collection, and I do try to switch it up fairly often, just because there's no sense in me wearing the same exact blush every day when I can switch it up and try to keep things a little bit fresh. But there is one particular blush that I have hit pan in, and the fact that I have hit pan in this blush, owning as many as I do, really says something. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Party. And this is just a really beautiful nude shade. It works with so many different looks. And this is something that I wore quite a bit when I was like going to work, because it's neutral and it works. So that's what we're using for this look. And I'm just using this Chic blush brush, tapping in here kind of good. And we're just going to put some on the cheeks. Again, it's just a really soft look, goes with just about anything, and I really do like the way that looks. Okay, so the next thing in my collection, I picked this particular highlighter, collection of highlighters, because I really do like it, and if I had gotten it earlier in the year, I would still feel the same way about it, but it didn't come out until, you know, later on in the year. The highlighter that I'm talking about is from the Jaclyn Cosmetics Flash palette. So this palette in particular I really, really enjoy for highlight. The only shade that I have any real problem with is this one here, and it's just a little too icy for my liking, but the other three are absolutely beautiful. So this is what I'm going to be using on the face today. I think I'm going to go in with this bottom shade called Mesmerized. It's like a really beautiful pinky orange shade. It's just so pretty. She did a good job with this highlighter collection. I really do like it a lot. And I like the fact that I have more than one shade that I can wear. Really love this palette. So glad I picked it up. If you've also grabbed that palette, let me know what you think about it. Do you love it as much as I do? If I had to go back and grab it again, totally would. Okay, now we're going to jump into the eyebrows. Eyebrows, if you have watched any of my prior videos, you know that I loathe doing my eyebrows. And I think I actually say that exact phrase every single time, but it's true. I hate doing my eyebrows. There are a combination of products that I usually use for my brows. They revolve between the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. I usually use the shade between 4 or 4.5. I like the Urban Decay Brow Blade. This one is in the shade Dark Drapes. This one is a little bit too dark for me. I should have gone with Neutral Nana, and in store it looked too soft toned for my brows. Probably would have worked just fine. So I'm using this kind of sparingly nowadays because when I do use it, it looks really harsh, but I like the product itself. I like what it does. I also like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown. My all-time favorite brow products are the Brow Gal Brow Pencil, the sharpenable one, and their Fiber Brow Gel. But I ordered some, and they're still not here, and I really wanted to get this video filmed today, so I didn't wait for those to come in the mail yet. But that's what I would be using on my brows today, but I can't because I don't have it. So today I'm going to be using just a combination of the stuff I showed you, and maybe a little bit of the Gimme Brow as well. I do have the shades 3 and 4.5, so it's just going to be a little bit of a mixture of this and that until I come up with what I think looks like a decent brow. So I'm going to do that off camera because it takes me a while, takes a good bit of concentration, and it's not a very intriguing process. So when I come back, the brows will be on and we'll be ready to proceed with eyeshadow. Okay, we're not at perfect brows, not even a little bit, but I'm at the point in my brow game where I'm ready to move it on. This is where we're at. They are hella uneven. They're driving me crazy. Whatever. Here we are. Alright, so now we're moving on to the eyeshadow palettes. For 2019, I picked up several palettes. Several's probably a huge understatement. But I did pick up some. The two that I want to use in today's look are the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And the reason why I chose this palette for today was because the mattes in this palette are unbeatable. They are fantastic. This is one of my favorite palettes of 2019 because of the mattes. And another palette that I really enjoyed was the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jackie Aina palette. So I do want to do more of like a neutral look today just because I feel like on my channel I've done a lot of really colorful looks. And I know not everybody feels comfortable doing that. The shade that I want to build this look around today is Zam. It is a beautiful, like, shimmery pink shade right here. It's absolutely stunning. So that's what we're going to be building the entire look around. But I am going to use some of the mattes from the gold palette, like the matte browns, to help build up some of that depth. I did want to scoot in just a little bit closer here. Not too close. I don't want to scare anybody. So we're going to go ahead and grab a fluffy brush. All right, let me look at that Zam color again. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Okay, I'm going to start off with the top matte brown that's called Aria. It's this shade up here. This has a lot of kick up. If you haven't ever used Natasha Denona matte shadows before, I don't know if they're all like this, but let me see if I can convey to you. That's a lot of kick up. I'm not really that concerned about it. I don't really care. As long as I don't have, you know, an ass ton of fallout, I'm alright with it. Let's get this party started. I have felt like a total bottomless pit over the past, I don't know, couple days? I don't know what the hell's going on with me, but like today, okay, it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I ate a yogurt, like a Chobani Flip. It's like the heavier duty yogurts. It's not one of those little sissy yogurts. I ate that. I ate a large banana. And then about 2 hours later, I ate a big bowl of ramen. And now I'm just like starving like I never ate anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm insatiable. If you guys hear like a humming noise in the background, I do have a heater on in here because it costs an arm and a leg to run baseboard heats. So I've got like a space heater blowing. And it's probably going to be a little noisy, so I apologize. Or no, you know what? Hell no. I don't apologize. I'm freaking cold, okay? So I've got a heater going. Deal with it. It's the kind of year we're having. It's called the Get Real year. I don't like this little plastic thing here. It's a pain in the ass. Is it perforated? Can I tear it off? Should I tear it off? I want to tear it off. I probably shouldn't, but I'm just tired of it dangling. Gets on my nerves. Okay, so I think the next thing that we're going to go in with is a darker brown. I'm not going to try to use too many colors in this look. Or am I? I'm just going to dip back and forth here. And we're going to deepen up that crease. I really don't want to do like a really elaborate eye look. I want to keep it relatively simple. Let's grab the Sigma Detail Diffused Crease Brush, the E33. Yes, E33. This is one of Sigma's newer brushes, one of their newer blending brushes. I have hooded lids, and eyeshadow is becoming a bigger and bigger pain in my ass every time I do my makeup, it feels like. Because it's like I have to fake where I'm putting it. I gotta create this little illusion, and I'm not a damn magician. Okay, now that I have a little bit of depth built up, I'm really gonna focus on this outer corner. I'm gonna take that deep shade yet again. What is it called? Log. I'm going to take Log and I'm going to blend that right in that outer corner. Oh, my dear Log, you is a little bit patchy. Alright, now I'm going to take the shade Zam, and we're going to start packing that on the lid just to see what we got. I'm kind of over it at this point. I do love these eyeshadows. I just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on today. I can guarantee you it is user error and not the eyeshadow's fault. Alright, I'm going to attempt to use like a little concealer brush. This is the Morphe M124 brush. I can guarantee you that it's probably going to be better off with a finger, but we're going to try the brush first. This is a very glittery shade. Oh yeah. Alright, let's try the finger. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. That's real pretty. Let's take this darker shimmery shade in the Natasha Denona palette. This one is called Varus. And I'm going to build that on the outer corner. I mean, that's a pretty look. I don't dislike the way that looks. I probably should just leave it the hell alone because I'm going for a neutral look. Okay, so I'm taking the shade Soleil out of the ABH and Jackie Aina palette, and I'm just tapping over top of that Zam shade that I already laid down, just because I feel like the eye look I have going on right now is very similar to the one in my ColourPop video from the video that I did talking about why I started YouTube and all that jazz. And I don't want to create the same boring ass looks. We're going to take a little flat definer brush. This is the small angle brush from Sigma. It's their E65. And I'm going to dip into that Zam shade. It's just so like floofy. I'm afraid it's going to go in my eye. And we're going to stamp that on the inner portion here. Yeah, that's pretty. Why not? And we're going to do it on the other side. I want to do something to make that a little more like, bam! Like, I don't know. It's not giving me the vibes I want. I need a lighter, shimmery, beautiful color in that in that beginning there. That ain't gonna do shit. You ain't shit. Let's take Fairy. This is going to be a freaking mess. Let's take Fairy from the Soft Glam palette. These are all palettes that I use a lot because they're very neutral. They're very easy to work with. You can create a really quick look with them. They usually look really good when you get done. They're easy to blend. It's just, they're overall wonderful palettes. So, I'm going into Fairy here. I'm taking the shade Teak from the Sultry palette, another beautiful, easy-to-use palette. And we're tapping that on the outer edges here, just to deepen it up a tad. I mean, I think we're just going to call it quits right there. Okay, so all I've done so far is I took a little bit of that shade Log, that dark brown that I built up the outer corner with, that matte shade. I stamped it on the lower lash line, and then I took the original first blending shade, which was Aria, and I smoked out that lower lash line. Let's do that. Let's take Soleil on the inner corner. There we go. That's a little bit of a pop. Pop, pop, pop. So, that's it for the eyeshadow palettes. Praise Jesus. So the next order of business is going to be the lips and, of course, the lashes. For the lips, there was a handful of products that I really gravitated toward this year. Mostly it was nude lipsticks. I really enjoyed the Makeup Forever Artist Nude Creme. They are just a very beautiful, highly pigmented liquid lipstick, and they were comfortable and they look really nice on the lips. But I've used those in prior videos, so I didn't want to use that today. I also really fell in love with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Color Splash lipsticks. The one that I'm going to use today is in the shade Rum Punch. I actually heard Samantha March recommend this when I first started getting into watching her channel. I think she had bought this off of, what was it? It wasn't Poshmark, it was something else. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that looks like. So I ordered it without even knowing if I would really even like this color or not. And it is a beautiful color even on me. It really suits any kind of nude look. So that's what we're using today. And we're going to line my lips with the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in Nude 0.5. This is also something that I discovered this year, and I really enjoy this lip liner. And KKW Beauty lip liners are really not that expensive. I want to say this one was like 12 bucks, which I thought it was going to be a whole lot more than that. This is a really good combination of lip liner and lipstick. So, one of the mascaras I absolutely fell in love with this year was the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara in their waterproof formula. This stuff will last all day long. You can be having the worst day of your life, be bawling your eyes out, you know, the tears are just flowing, your mascara is not going anywhere. You can get caught out in a rainstorm in a monsoon, this mascara is going to hang on. So, that's what we're using today. I'm going to be doing the dishes tonight, full glam. Okay, so this is just with the mascara on. I'm going to try to scooch just a little bit closer so you guys can see what it did. I mean, they're nothing outrageous, but it is just mascara, so there's only so much it can do with short lashes, because I do have really short lashes naturally anyway. Alright guys, I think this is going to be the finished look. I was going to put a pair of falsies on, but the pair that I was working with fell apart, and I was like, you know what? That's my sign. Maybe I'll just leave them the way it is. So, because I don't typically wear falsies on a daily basis anyway, so this is a more true-to-life replica of what I would normally look like wearing some of my favorite products. What did you guys think about the products that I chose as some of my favorite staple products for 2019? Are any of them some of your favorite products also? Kind of curious. I want to know. Leave me some feedback down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you did like this video, please make sure you take the time to give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate when you guys do that. Also, if you're not already subscribed and you are enjoying my content so far, or you like some of my other videos, please make sure you take the time to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, that way YouTube lets you know of all my future uploads, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.